So, Marincess is here, and it's pretty damn good. And it's a really fun deck to climb with, honestly. Is the deck expensive? No, it's actually really cheap. Especially now, you can get Silent Mining in a structure deck. Silent Mining in the structure. There's a few techs in here that actually can get pretty expensive, but at the most part, it's relatively affordable, honestly. Like Dark Ruler Tactics, these are optional techs. You don't have to worry about that. Imperm's a staple in this format, I feel like, because of Fluanderies, and it's still good against Despia, because you can negate like a Luber and on normal, and you could try to negate Lubellion, but the problem with that is if you negate Lubellion, they could chain Brandon and Red, or like, yeah, to like dodge it, so it gets a little bit unreliable there. So they have ways to get around you, obviously, trying to imperm Lubellion, but it's still good to even like force out a Mirror Jade on turn 2, so I think it burns really good in the format. Valor, I was running because I was more worried about Fluanderies being around everywhere. You can opt to play it or not to play it. It's not really a big deal. Maxi, I'm only playing it 2 because it's like shaky in the format at best. It's not as good against you can still get some value off Brandon, because if you chain it to a Brandon fusion, that kind of gives you a draw too. So you're able to draw off Lubellion, and then for them to go into Mirror Jade. Keep in mind with Brandon opening, they do not have to summon. They can add it to their hand. So, unless your opponent is a total Dodo Brain and wants to give you free draw power, they're not going to do that. 3 Ash Blossom, because Ash is just one of the best hand traps in the game. Easily able to negate Branded Fusion. It's okay. It's decent at best against Flu. They have so many ways with map to get past it, and they can just chain block a lot past it due to their Flus being in the banish pile. But it's still really good, especially against like Despia, so you play it at 3. As far as the Marincess core, we run 3 Blue Tang. So what Blue Tang does is on summon, you send any Marincess from your deck to your grave. And then she has another effect. When she's sent to the grave as link material to summon a water monster, you can activate her effect, excavate the top 3 cards, and if there's a Marincess card there, add it to your hand. She's really, really good. She's the best starter in the entire deck. Another good starter is Pascalis. So on summon, normal or special summon, you can summon a Marincess from your hand in defense. So you could summon her off Dive and still get her effect, or off Coral if you milled her off like Spring Girl, and then be able to summon another Marincess from your hand. So she could easily make Totally Awesome, so you play 3 of her. And in Graveyard, during the turn, except the turn she was sent, you get to add a Marincess spell trap from your graveyard to your hand by banishing her. So you can recover Dive, Battle Ocean, or Wave. Spring Girl is a free special summon. You banish a Marincess from your graveyard to special summon her. Free level 4 in the field that can make Totally Awesome. Really, really good. And she also extends really well into all your link plays. Also, she's really good to add back off of Marincess Slug. We'll talk about that in a second. And her second effect allows you to, when she's sent to the graveyard as link material, summon a water. You get to send cards from the top to the graveyard equal to the Marincess monster you control. Then if a Marincess card was sent to the graveyard by this effect, you burn 200 for each Marincess card sent. The really good thing about her is, like, if you control like 4 monsters, you can easily mill like a wave in the grave. Then you can make your Marble Rock and hit it back wave, and that's really good. Sometimes it's even good to like mill Tang, like if you want to extend like Coral and Anemone. So like if you don't open a Tang and you open a Spring Girl and you manage to mill Tang, then milling Tang is really good. Almost like how you would play if you played Burning Abyss before and like the TCG, then you know, like milling certain cards like Seer, Graph are really good, but if you mill Tang, then you can summon and like extend. Next you have Sleepy Mating. Sleepy Mating can special summon herself to the field by targeting one Marincess card in the field. Keep in mind, you can't make Blue Slug, and you cannot make Sea Angel with her, because she's level 5. But she is an extender, which is really good. And then while this card's in the monster zone, it gains the effect that card that you targeted cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects. That never comes up. Also, you can banish her from your graveyard, then target one Marincess monster and equip a link from the graveyard to it. This effect does come up, and it's kind of relevant. So yeah. Next, we have Marincess Seahorse. Seahorse is a really good extender. You special summon her from the hand to a zone that a Marincess points to. Also, while in your graveyard, except the turn it was sent, you banish it and special summon a Marincess from your hand to a zone a link points to. This is just a really good extender, and it helps you really fuel up your Marincess plays against advantage. Also, by herself, she is essentially 2 monsters, essentially, because if you link her off into your slug, you add her back, and she's a free summon, so she can become 2 monsters, potentially fuel up your hand. Like, if you open her up plus dive, you have really good combo extension. So, like, what you could do is you normal summon Seahorse, then you link off into slug, add her back, special summon, make Sea Angel, and if you have, like, dive or ocean, you search either one, and then you can go, like, dive into Blue Tang dump Spring Girl, and then you're off to the races. Okay, anyway, going on to the extra deck, and this is really important. Oh, also I have to talk about dive and other things. So dive is your spell. You search this off Sea Angel, and dive, what it does is you can either special summon a Marincess from your grave, or if you have Battle Ocean, you can summon one from the deck. So this gets really good to get your Marincess on the field. Obviously, having Battle Ocean is the better effect, because then you can tutor anyone out of the deck, and all their effects trigger on special summon, so that's really good. Battle Ocean is also really good in that fact, because Battle Ocean allows us to, it has multiple different effects. First effect, all Marincess monsters control gain 200 attack. Also, each one gains 600 attack for each Marincess card equipped to it in the extra monster zone. Also, if you link summon using Crystal Art, we'll talk about that. That allows us to equip a certain amount of Marincess, makes all your Marincess unaffected, as well as you have, not all of them, your Marincess monster in the extra monster zone unaffected, if you have Battle Ocean on the field. But that's very vulnerable, because if they have Battle Ocean, then you're like, then you have no unaffected monster, which is not hard for them to do, which is why you do not want to rely on Crystal Art, if possible. If you have enough extension, then you can go into it, but yeah, that's you know, that's something you can do. But also, Battle Ocean allows you to do is, when you link summon a Marincess to the extra monster zone, you can target up to 3 Marincess links in your grave and equip it to that monster. So that can be really good to, and then they gain 600 attack for each link equipped. So, like, if you go into, let's say you go into Aqua Argonaut, right? And you equip 3 links, so she'll gain 1800 attack, putting her at 4100, which is insane. And then she gains 200 from the field itself, so she'll be at 4300 Aqua Argonaut. Not much is going to swing over that, and that really makes her strong. Now, the last card, Marincess Wave, this trap is very strong. And this you add off Coral Triangle generally, or if you mill it off of, like, Spring Girl, then you can add it back off of Marble Rock. But this trap is super duper powerful. Because it's essentially a searchable imperm for the deck, and it makes all your monsters unaffected. So, like, Crystal Arts doesn't really come into play, because this will just make all your monsters unaffected in general. If you control a Marincess Link monster, target one face-up monster your opponent controls. Negate that face-up monster's effect to the end of the turn. So already it's an impermanence. If you control a Link to or higher monster, all face-up Marincess cards, Marincess monsters you control are unaffected by your opponent's card effects until the end of the turn. So already this card will make all your Marincess monsters unaffected. And if you control a Link 3 or higher Marincess monster, you can activate this from the hand. So obviously you can see why this is an infinite impermanence. If you control Link 3 or higher, activate it from the hand. If you control any Marincess monsters, you have to. You have to control a Marincess monster when you activate this. All your Marincess monsters become unaffected. Which is absolutely crazy. I should say all face-up monsters you control. They don't even have to become Marincess monsters. All face-up monsters you control are unaffected by your opponent's card effects. So that means totally awesome. Bahamut Shark are also unaffected. And this is impermanent, so obviously we control a link, activate it for Nan. Link 3 or higher. But if you set this in general and control link 2 or lower, you can still activate this, but you just have to set it. Only when you control link 3 or higher can you activate it for Nan. But that's absolutely insane. And this card is definitely a card you want to play at 1. Really, really good. Really, really solid. The extra deck is totally awesome. This card is really good. If you don't know how you summon it, you summon off Bahamut Shark. And this is just a dominating game. Also, if you negate a spell or trap, you get to set that right to your field. So if you negate something like Scarlet Sanguine and like Eldritch, you can set Scarlet Sanguine right to your field. So they don't get the plus from the grave. Really strong. Also, when this card's sent to the grave, target a water monster in the grave, add it to your hand. So it's a +1 on recursion. Bahamut Shark is rank 4. You just use this to summon out totally awesome from the deck. Extra deck, ignoring its summoning conditions, and it cannot attack for the rest of the turn. Baguska's Baguska. It's really good to, if they max see you, you could just end on this and then not give them a million draws. Plus, this card just beats Flu and it beats Despias, so there you go. 2 copies of Blue Slug. Blue Slug has a couple effects. It has really one effect. It's a Link 1, and it takes 1 level 4 or lower Marincess. But when it's Link Summon, you target 1 Marincess monster in your graveyard, add it to your hand. So it's just really good to add back all your Marincess stuff. Especially Spring Girl, because then it makes it like, and Seahorse, because then it makes easy extension with those cards. So really, really good. So like if I go and I lead Seahorse, then I can go Seahorse in the Blue Slug, add back Seahorse special, and then keep going. Even with Spring Girl, like if I go Blue Tang, dump Spring Girl, then I can go into my Blue Slug, add back my Spring Girl, and then go off that way. Sea Angel is another Link 1, extremely powerful. Adds a Marincess spell right from your deck to your hand. So it just searches on summon. That's insanely good. So you can add Battle Ocean or Dive. Just for a Link 1, it's a +1. Obviously really good. Coral Anemone, another really good Marincess Link. Takes 2 water monsters. Does not have to be a Marincess monster. You can use Bahamut Shark. We just got this card in Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links. So if you're a Duel Links player watching this video, then obviously you know where this card's coming from. So Coral Anemone, target 1 water monster with 1500 or less in the grave. Special summon to his own, this points to. And then if this Link summoned off or sent to your graveyard, you can target 1 Marincess monster and add to your hand in your graveyard. So the second effect never comes up with Duel Links, but it comes up here. Obviously you can revive back Splash Mage because this does less than 1500 attack. But you can also revive back any of your Marincess monsters, just extend. And then when it's sent to the grave, you add a Marincess monster from your grave to your hand. So obviously really good. Crystal Heart, all you need to know is the Link 2. And if you Link summon it with it, while you have Battle Ocean on the field, using this as a monster in the extra monster zone, to make a monster in the extra monster zone, it's unaffected by card effects as well as Battle Oceans on the field. But if they out Battle Ocean, then your protection goes away. Splash Mage, just type, there's a Cyberus in the grave, adds it to the hand. Marble Rock is your Link 3. This card's very good. Takes 2+ water monsters. Every turn, you get to add a Marincess card in your graveyard to your hand. So that says card, so including your wave. So this could add back wave, Battle Ocean, and dive. Nikolai, what's up? So this becomes really, really good. Also, when your opponent's monster declares an attack, send a Marincess monster from your hand to your grave. For the rest of the turn, monsters cannot be destroyed in battle. And you also take no battle damage. This is a really good effect against Numeron, because for that battle, like if they're going to swing with a giant Numeron, then you take no damage and they can't be destroyed in battle. So this could really annoy a Numeron player, which we did on our Diamond 1 climb. Coral Triangle is really, really strong. This is a Link 3. You send a water monster from your hand to your grave, add a Marincess trap from your deck to your hand. You add a wave, that's the only target you run, and that's the only target you add. Also, Coral Triangle has a secondary effect, which is really good. All this cards in your graveyard, you control no monsters, your opponent does. You get to banish this, target 2 Marincess monsters in your grave, whose total link ratings equal 3, special summon them. That is insane. Well, 2 water monsters, I should say. So, what you could do is you could target Coral Anemone, and any link 1, special summon them. Then activate Coral. Coral revives back Splash Mage, and then Splash Mage revives. So you just made a whole field off of 1 banish, which is crazy. Crazy comeback potential. Then you have link 4, Marincess Great Bubble Reef. Bubble Reef takes 2+ water monsters. Once per turn, during your standby phase, you banish 1 water monster from your graveyard on your field, draws your card. So it's kind of like Decode Talker Heat Soul in a way. Any standby phase. But weaker in that fashion, because Decode Talker doesn't require a standby phase. Each time a monster is banished face up, including Fluanderies, this card will gain 600 attack for each until the end of the turn. You can send 1 water monster from your end of grave, special summon 1 of your banished Marincess monsters, including your links. So you can send back Coral and Marble Rock and whatnot. This can revive your links, as long as they've been properly summoned. Now, your other UR in the deck is Aqua Argonaut, and this card is very good. While this card is in the extra monster zone, your opponent cannot attack any other monsters except Aqua Argonaut, so they have to attack her. Second effect is really good. It's a Shien. During your opponent's turn, when your opponent activates a spell trap on your opponent's turn, not on your turn. During your opponent's turn, when they activate a spell trap, you get to negate it, and then special summon a Marincess monster from your spell and trap zone. So that's really good synergy with Battle Ocean. So like if they activate Branded Fusion, you can negate it, and then special summon out like a Marble Rock or a Coral Anemone, which can revive for free. Plus, if you equip Coral Anemone with Battle Ocean, and they send Anemone to the grave, you get to add from your hand, because she doesn't care how she's sent to the grave. She can be sent for the spell or trap zone, and you get to plus. Really good. Also, she has another effect. You can target a water monster you control, 1 your opponent controls, and monster your opponent controls, and return those to the hand. So she has 3 effects on her, and that's why she's UR. UR link 4. Really good. So yeah, that's my Marincess tutorial. I will have another video separately going over the replays, so you can see all the replays. And yeah, that's the tutorial. It goes over the deck. Diamond 1, and we got Diamond 1 with this deck, so really good. And one more thing to say. Only I get to have the fun! Sean Matrai signing out.